I represent, good morning, Senator Jonathan Martin. I represent District 33, which is a lot better this year than it was last year. Thank you all for coming.
Mike Lombardo, District 79. I have the city of Cape Coral pretty much. Good to be here.
And I'm Jenna Persons-Malika. I'm proud to represent District 78, which includes all of the city of Fort Myers, the city of Fort Myers is our oldest governmental body in Lee County, even predates Lee County by a year. But I also represent some of the southern portion of unincorporated Lee County. It's been my honor to serve as chair of the delegation for the last 2 years. I will be handing over that honor later today, but until then, I will continue to be your chair. We have a packed meeting and agenda today. It's truly incredibly exciting to see so many people that have come out to our delegation meeting. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Your voices are important. It's important for us to hear from you. This is our annual opportunity to have a hearing where we can hear from all the good folks of Lee County. But it's not the only opportunity to continue to communicate with us. You can reach out to all of our offices. We have our staff members behind you, behind us today. I want to say a special thank you to my new legislative aide, Anastasia Tyson, who is out manning the table out front. She came on board a few weeks ago and hit the ground running, making sure that today was organized and that you all had this opportunity to speak with us. So I can't thank her enough for her work. And again, all of you for being here. We might not always see eye to eye, and us on the delegation members might not always see eye to eye, but that's why we have a process of deliberation. And we work together as a team to fight for you and to be your partner on the ground. And again, as we continue to recover from Hurricane Ian, it's so important for us to continue to have those strong partnerships. So thank you again for being here, and we will kick off the agenda. We have a lot to get through in a short amount of time. Up first, we will start with our public hearing on local bills. The first local bill on the agenda is a special act creating Duke Farm Stewardship District. Representative Roach, you are recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, and good morning, members of the community that came here today to talk about this. This is a local bill to establish the Duke Farm Stewardship District, which would have created a charter for a district of about 1,100 acres in unincorporated Lee County. I have had some conversations with members of the delegation, both over the weekend and this morning, and I do not believe that the members of the delegation have been given adequate time to review the proposed language. And I also do not think that that this has been socialized within the communities that it might be impacted enough. So, Madam Chair, with your permission, I would request to withdraw the bill.
Please let the record reflect that the bill has been withdrawn. President Passidomo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to let you all know who are here from the Alva community that, I got hundreds of emails over the weekend. I appreciate your input. This bill was 124 pages and, I'm a speed reader, but I didn't have time to read it. So I feel strongly that we do not have the opportunity to review it. We will review it in the future, and I strongly urge the developer to sit down with the community to have a conversation about what their plans are. And I appreciate Spencer. And I appreciate Representative Roach's willingness to withdraw it for now. Thank you.
Now, I would like to share a few words with the public who took the time to come out here this morning. Since we are not hearing, since the bill has been withdrawn, we will not be receiving public comment at this time on this bill. You are welcome to stay around till the end of the meeting and share any comments on any topics that you have, should we have enough time. But I want you all to know that we received 25 requests to comment on this item today. We have those forms. I will make sure all the members have a copy of those forms. Also, if you had reached out to my office, we will add your email to the list to receive notices for all future delegation meetings. In addition, if you leave your email address with my front, I'll make sure you are added to that delegation notice list. And any local bill before it moves forward would have to come back to our delegation at a future meeting, which that is currently unknown, but we will ensure that you are added to that notification list. But I want to thank you all for being here. And if you want to stay around for the meeting, you are welcome to, but we will not be voting on this bill today. Up next is a special act expanding the territorial boundary of the Lehigh Acres Municipal Services Improvement District. Representative Esposito, you are recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Chair. This bill modifies the Lamstead boundaries to include a 59-acre parcel slated for future development. This is at the request of the property owner, and it is so that they can receive services from Lamstead.
Members, are there any questions on the bill? Any questions on the bill? Seeing none, is there public comment on the bill? Public comment on the bill. We have not received any public comment cards. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on this bill? Seeing none, members, we are in debate. Is there debate on the bill? Is there debate on the local bill? Seeing no debate, Representative Esposito, you're recognized to close on your local bill.
Waive close.
Having waived close, please call the roll on the bill.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Please show that the local bill has passed unanimously. Congratulations, Representative, and thank you, Elena. Next up, we have election of the delegation chair and vice chair. This is my favorite part of the meeting today. Again, it's been a pleasure to serve all of you in this position. Senator Martin, you're recognized for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Tiffany Esposito as chair.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Having been seconded by President Pasadomo, Representative Esposito, will you accept this nomination?
I will. Thank you.
I mean, without objection, show the motion passed. Congratulations. Chairwoman Esposito, this is now your show.
Fantastic. Thank you. No pressure. This is only my second delegation meeting, and this is a packed full room, so bear with me. Representative Persons Mullica, you are recognized for a motion.
At this time, I would like to nominate Senator Martin to be the vice chair of our delegation.
Representative Roach, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Do you accept?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, Representative Botana, you are recognized to discuss your bill of the merger of the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control and Bonita Springs Fire Control.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I appreciate it, and thank you all. This is a local bill that is concerning Fort Myers Beach Fire Department with a merger into Bonita Springs, and that is the bill.
Thank you, Representative. Before we move into public comment, we will have a brief presentation by the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District, and I'd like to recognize Chief Scott Worth and Chair John Bennett.
Good morning, senators and representatives. For the record, Scott Worth, I'm the Fire Chief, Fort Myers Beach. The first thing I want to do is thank everybody for considering this bill and for realizing that the bill might not be ready to go and not having a vote on it today. When I got the call from Representative Botana 3 weeks ago, I was a little caught off guard by it. Some of those reasons is that we know from statute that there are steps that come ahead of putting a bill forward. Is it financially feasible? Is there a merger plan in place to work out all the nuances of how a merger would take place? So 3 weeks ago, I was thinking this first step needs to be a study, hypothetical study of these districts to see if this was feasible. Since that time, have the opportunity to look at mergers that have happened, voluntary mergers that have happened to our neighbor to the south, Collier County. It was Saturday, but I provided each of you by email with a couple documents providing some information related on what I found. So in 2014, North Collier did merge. They put together a merger plan that was cited by Representative Botana as the source for savings for Fort Myers and Beach and Bonita Springs to merge. What we found in looking at that plan is that it doesn't appear that it presents savings. It doesn't appear that it has presented any of the efficiencies outlined in the merger plan. Now, that could be for a number of reasons. Those plans are done, they're hypothetical. You know, the savings, the anticipated outcomes are just that, they're anticipated. But at this time, what I'm here to ask for today from each of you, if you will, is have the conversation, but have it about mergers that have already happened. We have 9, almost 10 years of empirical evidence of what it looks like when voluntary mergers are done. Do they save money? Do they represent efficiencies? And I think we all stand in this room and we really don't look at the federal government as somebody, the most efficient operation. So what I hope isn't happening is that we're looking at the number of special districts that we have and thinking that automatically equates to savings by lowering the quantity of districts. So with the information I've provided you, I'm available, obviously, after this meeting for any questions and discussions. I implore you to possibly look at the mergers in Collier County that have already been done. Look at those first. If they do bring savings and they do bring efficiencies, I think all of us in Lee County would probably say, let's roundtable this with the Collier folks and find out what went well and what didn't. I hope you'll consider that as a first step before we look at merging any of the Lee County districts. Thank you.
Good morning. For the record, John Bennett, Commissioner for the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District. First of all, I'd like to thank the honorable members of the panel for their time and consideration. The district and community were blindsided by the idea of this merger. Representative Botana at no time communicated with our board nor the community his thoughts on why and what and how this would happen. And I'm curious to how this idea came about and who that discussion may have been with. The timing of the proposal is a little shocking. You know, we're a community that is on the path of recovery. We're rebuilding after Hurricane Ian last year. And now I feel like we're a little targeted for what may be coming to our community, which is going to be a more vibrant, more expensive, higher end Fort Myers Beach than what's ever existed, because it will be completely rebuilt. That being said, as the chief said, suggesting such a merger is complicated. It involves high value assets, liabilities, employees with pension plans, families, considerations for their futures, paths that they've chosen to go down for promotion. The two districts provide different service models. You know, we are a transport model for EMS and paramedics. We supply our own ambulances, we run our own crews with those, and we have highly trained personnel that operate those systems. Combining the two government organizations of any size, that requires, as said, many considerations. Most importantly, it's the desire of the constituents in those communities to take this to vote without asking the community what they want is a travesty. It's why we all serve. We serve at the pleasure of the public. That is our job as an elected official, whether it be on a very small scale, such as a fire commissioner, or even up to the top of the chain as the President of the United States. The initial research, as the chief said, has shown that there is no cost savings that can be significantly demonstrated from these two mergers that happened in Collier. And they followed that plan of the statute and how to do it properly. If they're not showing a generous benefit by following a plan, what's going to happen when we implement something with a lot of haste and with no data? Our district is well-run. It's financially responsible. We've served the citizens of Fort Myers Beach and San Carlos Island for over 75 years. We accomplish our mission professionally utilizing data, research and analysis, and forecasting for our future. And the future of our community is very bright. Thanks to the resilience and dedication of our citizens, that same level of commitment and dedication also exists in every member of the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District. We've been recognized in the last 5 years with several recognitions from state, local, and national organizations, Fire Chief of the Year, Special District Manager of the Year, and multiple awards for our life-saving medics as they work on the forefront of what we do. We look forward to our continued success and growth within the community. And I really do see a bright future. And I would ask that Representative Botana not push this forward to a vote at this time, and then he withdraw this bill, because it is not the time, nor do we have the data to make these kinds of decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll now move into public comment. We have 3 public comment cards. First, we'll have Henry Garcia.
Good morning, esteemed members of the Lee County Delegation. My name is Henry Garcia, and I proudly serve as the president of Southwest Florida Professional Firefighters and Paramedics, Local 1826. Today, I stand before you in opposition of the bill drafted by Representative Botana. This proposal will force a takeover of the Fort Myers Beach Fire Department by the Bonita Springs Fire Department. Florida Statute 189.075 governs voluntary mergers and clearly outlines the considerations and necessary steps for the mergers like this one. These steps include establishing a clear plan on how the merger will take, and most importantly, allowing the public to cast their vote. Unfortunately, none of the critical actions have taken place. I sincerely believe the citizens deserve the right to decide who serves and protects their community. It should not be made without their input. I also respectfully suggest that we take a closer look at other departments that have merged in the past. We should examine whether the promised savings and improvements have materialized as expected, to make an informed decision and prioritize their safety and well-being. In closing, I want to take time and allow me to speak on the matter. Please remember, it's our safeguard the best interests of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Roy Brown, followed by Joanne Summer.
Morning, Madam Chair, gentlemen of the Lee County Legislative Delegation. My name is Roy Brown, and I'm president of 3440, which represents the Bonita Springs Firefighters, and also the 11th District Vice President of the Florida Professional Firefighters. I stand before you today to express our concerns of our local firefighters and the communities they serve regarding the proposed merger of Bonita Springs and Fort Myers Beach Fire Departments. This merger is not only opposed by our citizens, but also lacks the necessary study and referenda vote. Our communities did not request this merger, and it does not align with our needs or wishes. Our concern extends to the absence of the comprehensive study and referenda vote, both which are very essential into moving forward with a merger like this. In spirit of cooperation and community well-being, we urge you to reconsider this merger. There may be alternative solutions that can address any underlying issues while respecting the concerns of the local firefighters and wishes of the community. A more inclusive decision-making process can lead to a better outcome of all parties involved. In conclusion, we request that the county delegation reevaluates the proposed bill and proposed merger in light of all the concerns today. We must ensure that our decision aligns with the best interests and desires of the people we serve. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, sir. Joanne Summer.
Thank you all, excuse me, thank you all for being here today and your service to the community. Thank you. I'm here as a citizen speaking for the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District. I've been on Fort Myers Beach since 1964. I've seen it grow. Our community and our family have helped them in any way that we can They provide an excellent service. They've come and through their ambulance service, they've taken care of my mother, my father, my brother, my sister. I can't say enough about them. And I think this involuntary merger, it just caught us all by surprise. And to me, as a citizen and a taxpayer, it makes no sense. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment, and we'll move into member discussion. Members, do we have any discussion? President Pasadoma, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't get to talk much in the legislature anymore, so this is fun. So, I've been in office since 2010, and this is in Collier County. This issue has come up routinely every couple of years, and we've always taken the position that we two things: we need to have a referendum of the voters to determine whether or not the people who actually pay the bills want the mergers, and that's what we did in Collier. And secondly, I think a more comprehensive study, because honestly, if it is a cost savings, then it's something we should look at, but it has to be determined and demonstrated by, a serious study, and which voters can read about and vote on. And so I really appreciate Representative Botana willing to take a step back, and we will be doing a referendum, I presume. Thank you.
Representative Persons Mullica, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and you're doing a great job so far in the new position. First, I wanted to thank everybody who reached out to my office as chair of the delegation. I seem to have been a contact point by which to disseminate a lot of correspondence. We received numerous emails, some for the merger and many against the merger. And I just want to let the public know that our office did our best to compile all of those emails and send them out and provide them to the members of the delegation. So your voices were also heard in that way. I also want to echo President Pasadoma's comments. Members, I do believe this is an important issue that should go to the voters and require a majority of the voters in all the districts before it can be moved forward. Also, when you looked at what happened in the past with Collier County, those were voluntary mergers, but they started with a conversation. So we're having a conversation today. Those were voluntary mergers. They were based on a study. The study was publicly noticed and put in multiple places throughout the county. Then there were public hearings. And then after negotiation and a plan was put into place, that's when they came to the legislature. And that's when the then put it on the ballot for the voters to make the ultimate decision. In this case, I personally, members, I'll be looking for more community engagement as we look at any or all of the fire districts. And it's very important that there be a plan and be a study, because we are protectors of the taxpayers in their purse. But we want to make sure we're moving in the right direction, because there's nothing more important than the public safety of our members. As a member who had to call the ambulance to my household this week for a member of my family, I know how important a second can mean. So I want to thank all of our first responders as well for the job you're doing in the Fort Myers Beach Fire District. We're the first ones out there on the island. At this time, folks should be worried about rebuilding their lives, their homes, and their businesses. You don't have to worry about this today. We're just starting with a conversation, and I want to thank you for reaching out to our offices. We are your elected representatives. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should, and I think you've already seen that happen today with this delegation. Thank you.
Members, any other comments? Representative Joe Lombardo.
First, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. And I think that these types of bills and these things have to be brought up. I mean, if you look at Lee County as a whole, we're going to be approaching 1 million people pretty quickly. And we have 17 fire districts, 20 fire districts in Lee County. So these conversations we have to have them. For me, I'm a military guy, so I get, like, we got to look at cost. We have to look at reliability. We have to look at resources and assets and requirements for each one of these communities, because each one of these communities have a different requirement for them. And we have to make sure that our fire stations meeting that need. And I know that you have MOUs, across the county. And I know that you respond well to each other. But if you also look at it and there's a district that's constantly getting, that's constantly having to respond to another district, maybe there's the requirements are not met. So we have to look at these things. So this is not like Representative Botana is not like he didn't go and be like, oh, let's target this. He's just putting this out there. Conversation has to happen. Study has to happen. All these things have to be put in play. And I think that this is an ongoing conversation that's been had for a long time, right? And I think that we got to continue to have these conversations, especially that Lee County, we're going to be vastly approaching 1 million people soon. Whether you want it to happen or not, it's going to happen. So we have to look at that, and we have to look at the efficiencies of government. So thank you.
Representative Botana, you're recognized to close.
Thank you. Closing a bill that we're not going to vote on. Great stuff.
Correct.
But I just want to say thank you for everybody coming out and contacting, from Chief Worth to Chief DeWitt. I know we've had conversations, and we're going to keep them going. I'm a third-year politician up here, business guy before, so we do make mistakes every once in a while, and I want to apologize if I stepped out of line. But I will tell you this, if there's anything that will go forward, we will have a referendum. We'll put it back to the people, because you guys are the ones that elected us. The doors I knocked on are the people I care about. So appreciate it, and we'll close it from there.
Thank you, Representative Botana. So that ends our discussion for that topic today. And moving on, Representative Botana, you are recognized to discuss the Fort Myers Beach mosquito control and Lee County mosquito control merger.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman. Again, appreciate it. Again, this is another bill to merge Fort Myers Beach mosquito control into Lee County mosquito control, and that is the bill.
Thank you, Representative Botana. We have a few presentations, and then we will move into public comment and member discussion. So first, I'd like to recognize Mosquito Control District Representative from Fort Myers Beach, Chair Joanne Semmer.
Again, I want to thank you all for your service. Thank you for being here. I was surprised to see Representative Botana's proposed legislation, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, to merge the Fort Myers Beach Mosquito Control Taxing District with Lee County Mosquito Control District. The Fort Myers Beach Mosquito Control District is one of the oldest mosquito control districts in the state of Florida, formed in 1949. We are unique as most of our district area includes environmentally sensitive areas, including the Estero Bay Aquatic Preserve, Bunch Beach Preserve, Mantanzas Pass Wilderness Preserve, state, county, and city parks and private preserves. After Hurricane Ian, we were back at work within days despite destruction of our facility and equipment, as well as the staff and commissioners' homes and businesses. We are currently monitoring over 500 abandoned pools and standing water. We provide a service that allows us to respond to complaints within 24 hours or less. We inspect every property in our district that is reachable at least 2 times a year. We provide immediate local community services that Lee County Mosquito Control cannot provide, including individual services to homes, businesses, hotels, and resorts in the Fort Myers Beach community. We contract with Lee County Mosquito Control to do aerial monitoring in areas not accessible by truck or foot and spray as necessary, as well as providing mosquito trapping counts and the chicken sentinels. Our taxes are less than 1/2 of what Lee County Mosquito Control District charges. We have the lowest mosquito control district tax millage in the entire state of Florida. We are fully funded, have no debt, and do not receive state funding. So let's say that again. We're fully funded, we have no debt, and we do not receive state funding. We have been and continue to be financially responsible in our tax dollars as reflected in our budget. There is no expected cost savings or improvement in the level of service if the districts are merged. In fact, it will cost taxpayers more money for less service. If the merger happens, The mosquito control district office will be in Buckingham, nowhere near Fort Myers Beach. The voters in the district have a much stronger vote per person on the election of commissioners of Fort Myers Beach Mosquito Control District than Lee County Mosquito Control District, where their votes will be substantially diluted and almost meaningless. Therefore, it is a definite benefit to the Fort Myers Beach Control District's existence in terms of voters having a say in who represents them on the District Board of Commissioners and how the district operates. We do not believe the voters in the district support a dissolution of the district, and we hope that there is further consideration of merging the district there, and will be an opportunity for the voters in the district to vote on whether they want to be included in the Lee County Mosquito Control District before a merger occurs. And I want to thank you, Representative Person Malika, I hope I said that right, for positioning this item so that it's not being voted on today, so that we'll have a reasonable opportunity to answer any questions that people have about the services the district provides to its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, we have Lee County Mosquito Control District.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. David Hole, Executive Director, Lee County Mosquito Control District. So what she said was true. They provide a lot of good services. It's personalized. We do the same thing. We answer our service calls within 24 hours. We provide mosquito control to 97.5% of the county. So this is the other 2.5%. We did not bring the issue up. This was brought up by the Opaga bunch. I do not know what the economics are of combining this. It is true our millage rate is higher. I have heard that they could possibly set a two-tier system and leave the millage rate at Fort Myers Beach. We do provide the aerial control, like she said. So either way, if it makes economic sense, we're for it. And if it doesn't, we don't have to do it. It's really up to the voters.
Well, thank you, Chair. One question. So is Lee County Mosquito Control capable and able to provide all that Fort Myers Beach does right now for the island?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. I mean, we're already providing for the whole county, and we have other specialty communities like Boca Grande, Captiva, Sanibel, places like this that we give detailed attention to.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. We'll now move into public comment, and I'd like to recognize Steve Johnson.
Madam Chair, good morning. Lee County Legislative Delegation, thank you for your service. My name is Steve Johnson. I'm a resident of Fort Myers Beach, as well as a sitting commissioner on the Fort Myers Beach Mosquito Control District, which will be celebrating its 75th anniversary in 2024. It is true that the physical operations of the district were obliterated by Hurricane Ian in September 2023. However, the district resumed service operations 1 week following the storm. The operations of the district are very direct, streamlined, and catered to the needs of our constituents. The small size of our district is also its strength, which allows it to be agile, resilient, and quickly recoverable. All critical inspection and treatment equipment has been replaced, and our ability to service our constituents is at 100%. Our primary focus is to eliminate breeding centers through the use of larvicides, thus preventing outbreaks and avoiding the use of harsher sprayed adulticides. Our ability to achieve this approach is due to the institutional knowledge of our district topography and the ability to personally inspect every property. Admittedly, the district was unable to participate in the recent Opaga special audit of the statewide independent mosquito control districts and requested an extension due to our unprecedented circumstances, but was formally denied the extension. As a result of this, the final draft content and opinions are entirely based on the input of the Balmoral Group and is subject to opinion, assumption, and conjecture. We do not fault the Balmoral Group, as we understand their contracted responsibilities provide a report on each mosquito control district regardless of circumstances. The district has retained the current millage rate of 0.1123 for fiscal year 22-23 to protect our disaster affected constituency. When compared with the Lee County Mosquito Control increased millage rate of 0.2350, the result constitutes a 109% increase to the district's constituents if a merger took place between districts. In addition, the high-level personalized concierge service that our constituents currently receive cannot be duplicated by a larger mosquito control district. Consequently, the value proposition of receiving lesser service while paying twice the price is a very compelling argument against a change in the current status. The population on the island swells to over 50,000 during season, and our district record suggests we have served this important clientele on an exemplary basis when getting on and off the island can be quite a hassle. Though a state initiative to reduce special taxing districts may appear to be a great idea, a noble one, it must be justified on a case-by-case basis to ensure the taxpayers are receiving a measurable benefit, which in this case seems lacking and may be seen as a punitive action to a community recovering from a natural disaster. In conclusion, I'd like to thank Representative Botana for facilitating the road lighting on Fort Myers Beach as we look forward to a safer community during.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, Representative, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. As we can see, we have a study on this bill, but we won't be hearing it today. But again, there will be a referendum sometime. Thank you.
Representative Botana. So we will now move into our public presentations. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. We appreciate all of you being here today. So you will have 90 seconds. I don't want to be rude at all, but I am going to set an alarm on my phone to keep us on track. So when you hear it ding, if you could please kindly wrap up your remarks. We will start with our Lee County Board of County Commissioners, the Honorable Brian Hammond, followed by Lee County School District. Welcome.
Well, good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning, distinguished members of the delegation. I will move quickly through this. Let me begin with gratitude today. Thank you all for the exceptional efforts that you brought forward last session. You answered the call for Lee County residents who were reeling from Hurricane Ian. Unprecedented appropriations and worked collaboratively with the county to help us begin to rebuild. This session, the priorities for the county's residents again center around rebuilding from Hurricane Ian. We're asking for your support for $15 million to help rebuild the Fort Myers Beach Water Reclamation Facility. The total project cost on that one is estimated to be $209 million. We're also asking $5 million for a public safety radio system that will ensure stable communications in the wake of a natural disaster. As you can recall, because you live here and drive on the roads, Hurricane Ian wreaked havoc on our traffic signals. So we're asking for your help, $3 million to make permanent repairs, and then another $10 million to harden against future natural disasters, rather. And then as we talk about hurricane funding, Lee County's conservative budgeting is enabling us right now to currently float more than $100 million in bills that we hope to be reimbursed for at a future date. But we're asking for your help with modifying the terms of our emergency bridge loan program. We're seeking a 10-year interest-free repayment term. Finally, the balance of our legislative agenda that you have with you or at your office talks about things like protecting our environment, things like the Billy Creek and Orange River septic to sewer conversion. We look forward to working with you throughout this legislative session to help serve the people of Lee County. And we thank you very much for your efforts to help us rebuild stronger than we were before.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here. I'd like to recognize Lee County School District Chair Armour Persons.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, and the rest of the delegation. First, I just want to spend 10 seconds and say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for last year coming to our aid. This year, we have workforce as one of our major proponents. We want to expand the Career and Technical College out in Cape Coral. We did phase 1 last year, thanks to y'all. This year's phase 2, that includes starting the building. And we're putting in 12 million. We're asking for y'all for 2.1 million more because of inflation. The second one is the area that needs the career and technical education the most is the Lehigh Acres area. And we don't have anything out there. We don't have public transportation to either the Fort Myers or the Cape Coral. It's going to be a regional career and technical, and I'm sure it'll pull from Henry County just as the Cape Coral pulls from Charlotte County. So hopefully we can do that. We need 2.5 million for phase one on that, and we're putting in 2.5 million on that. We also have for school safety, we are asking for 500,000 to expand our before and after school. We do that. We're trying to do a bubble around all the kids so they're safe from that before and after school so they don't get into trouble. And we're expanding that to our middle schools this year. Last year we did elementary schools, and we're getting private partners to make that sustainable from this point on. Also, we're asking if there ever, and there will be sometime, there will be an emergency. This real quick, we're asking for 1 million to send a vehicle that is totally self-contained. So if we have to evacuate a school, we'll be able to have like a mobile office. And also we have to increase our perimeter fencing and control needs. We have a lot of elementary schools with only 4-foot fences, and that really would never keep Senator Martin from just simply stepping over it. Okay, well, thank you again.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. City of Fort Myers, Mayor Kevin Anderson.
May I speak real quick?
Yes.
I would never trespass on school property.
Not again. Good
You're
morning,
recognized.
Madam Chair, members of the delegation. Like everyone else, thank you very much for the hard work in last year's session and what you brought back to our citizens. I'm going to be very quick. We have 2 essential utility projects. One of them is the water treatment plant expansion. The other one is well field expansions. We have 2 essential public safety projects, that being the new police headquarters and an additional fire station. 3 park projects, which consist of a boat ramp, which will increase the access to our waterways for our citizens, and 2 parks, 1 new park and 1 expansion. And then finally, 1 transportation project, which will be the Challenger Road expansion or extension, I mean. This is important because this is going to connect the current Challenger with Colonial and Winkler, and that is the area where we're getting not 1, but 2 hospitals. So this will help allow greater access to those hospitals. So thank you again very much, and we look forward to another great year.
Thank you. Town of Fort Myers Beach, Mayor Dan Sellers.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Congratulations on your nomination. I will try to be as brief as any politician can be. Thank you. A couple of weeks ago, I had the meeting with each one of you in your offices to share with you what we'll be coming forth and ask, so I won't waste your time in repeating that. But we want to thank you. Our hearts, we know what we didn't know, and standing here, it was much more difficult. So it's because of your help, your commitment, and collaboration with not only our local partners, our state partners, and our federal partners, we were able to protect our island from Idalia when it came through. Without that support, we'd have been feet underwater again. So thank you for your commitment to helping us. Hopefully, we're showing you that your commitment to us is allowing us to move forward as fast as we possibly can. We'll be as swift as we can. We'll make sure we spend the money wisely, and we're ready to work. So thank you.
Thank you. City of Cape Coral, Mayor John Gunter.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. As mayor and on behalf of the city of Cape Coral, I'd like to share our gratitude for the delegation's efforts for Hurricane Ian and the recovery and assistance, and also for the 2023 legislative session and state appropriations that you helped the city of Cape Coral receive. Your partnership and dedication has been critical to helping Cape Coral and the other municipalities here in Lee County with their challenging efforts with the recovery process. Looking at 2024, we have several other priorities as well for hurricane recovery. You know, there's still 400 traffic signals here in Lee County. We have over 40,000 signs that still need to be repaired in our city, not to include, you know, we have about 85,000 single-family residential homes And we have about 32,000 roofing permits still that we are working on in our city. Transportation infrastructure is one of our priorities this year as well. The city contributed $5 million for the PD&E study for a state roadway widening State Road 78, Pine Island Road, hoping to get this particular roadway, which is definitely a need, not a want, to widen for our community that is growing exponentially. We're hoping to get this on our District 1 5-year work program. Also, we have continued efforts in water quality and resources. We're wrapping up the Calusa Connect River Crossing. Wanted to thank you for all your support over the last few years for those appropriations. And we're continuing to work with the Southwest Aggregates location for the pipeline to bring down to Cape Coral. We know that will resolve majority of our water quantity needs when we are looking to the future.
Thank you, Mayor Gunter. I'd like
All right.
if you could
Thank
just
you.
please wrap up.
Yep. Just want to thank you for your efforts. We will definitely follow up with some more identifiable projects. And thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you for being here. Next up, we have City of Sanibel, Mayor Richard Johnson.
So good morning, Chair. Good morning, Senate President Pasadomo. I accept your 90-second challenge. I want to thank you for supporting the City of Sanibel's response from Hurricane Ian, especially Senate President Pasadomo, Senator Martin, and Representative Botana for leading the effort to fund recovery efforts in the areas of Lee County that received catastrophic damage. For this year's session, we had a wonderful support last year. We're going to ask for your support again this year. We would like to see extension of the terms of the Florida Local Government Emergency Bridge Loan from the current repayment period of 2 years at 0 to 10 years at 0. Would be most helpful as we manage our recovery and continue on that journey. As you know, we lost 34% of our taxable property valuations. That's about $2 billion for us. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of money, but for a small community, it is tremendous. We did increase our millage from 1.975 this past year to 2.5 this year, so the citizens are also carrying their weight there. We'd also ask for operating revenue recovery. A replacement is requested in the amount of $9.9 million for 2024. We've provided you with a table in our full package that shows a 2-year revenue loss of approximately $18.7 million. The taxable value on Sanibel is mainly tied to our condominiums, and that is 75% of a loss for our taxable value there. It'll take us a couple of years to get that back. We want to thank you for creating the FEMA project worksheet loan funding program, the $350 million program. Sanibel has received $28 million. We hope that we're able to roll that $28 million back in and continue that. We have about $60 million worth of projects at this time. The rest of our ask is infrastructure projects, and please consider these seriously, even though I didn't hit the 90 seconds. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate the effort. Next up, we have Village of Estero, Mayor John McLean.
Good morning. On behalf of the entire Village of Estero, thank